Hey, well, a few weeks ago I posted a video called Can He Say That? And to keep it short, it was about going to a business meeting and being greeted by the guy with a compliment on my appearance instead of just saying hello or saying something about the business. And I got super torn about how to feel about that. So I put it out there and you guys were so cool in giving me some great advice and perspective, and it was such a good conversation that I kind of wanted to wrap it up and share it back with you here now. So one of the suggestions that came up multiple times in the comments was to not agree to having meetings in a bar, and that's really fair. I definitely could have managed it. I should have followed my instinct about not being comfortable with it. I could have just said I'm not available at that time, scheduled it for the morning and gone for a coffee instead. The next one was a really interesting thought. It came from Rosa Lee, who pointed out that often in business situations, women will compliment each other when they're starting out the discussion. So it might be, oh, that's a great bag, where did you get it from? Professor Respectimus then went on to say, well, if a woman's complimenting a woman and that's okay, then are we discriminating against men or homosexual women? Or, or do we just need to accept that there are gender differences like this? I don't have an answer. What do you guys think? A general theme that came out in the comments was that giving a compliment is totally okay, as long as it's not the first thing that happens in the meeting, and also so long as it's not connected to appearance. There was also another thought that came out of this from Treetopy on YouTube, and the thought was that the compliment could have been okay if it had been, more relevant. So the two suggestions they gave were, one, oh my gosh, you look so fresh and revitalized from having traveled so much. What's your secret? Or, hey, are those shoes of prey pumps? And that kind of makes sense to me, actually. Angela S from YouTube also noted a bunch of differences that she sees that are cultural between China and Germany, and Angela S, oh my gosh, I totally see these as well. So for example, when I turn up in China, one of my team there, who's lovely, she always comes up to me. The first thing that she does is squeeze my arms and my waist and tell me if I've put on or lost weight. It's always a bit of a nervous moment. And another point as well is one of my guy friends commented on this in this video, Can He Say That? And he said, I'm Italian and we're told that we should compliment women. So there are cultural differences that can play into this as well. Edie House on YouTube talked about the fact that there aren't a lot of female founders fundraising. Ooh, a lot of alliteration. And that most VCs are men. So I think the statistic was something like 8% of startups with fundraising, only 8% of them have female founders. So it's a new situation that we're trying to figure out, and so maybe we'll get better at it over time. There was another, I know I've already mentioned Rosa Lee, but she raised another point that I thought was so interesting because it highlighted a bias that I have too, which is that she talked about in reviewing CVs and seeing a woman put on her CV that one of her hobbies was makeup, thinking that was frivolous, but then seeing a guy's CV and one of his hobbies was golf, and then realizing actually they're kind of as frivolous as each other, and realizing that that was causing some kind of judgment. Professor Respectimus also hit on a second point that I passionately agree with, which is that men receive a lot of mixed messages about when to be social, when to be jovial, when to be flirty, and when to be professional. And these come from many different places and many different women in their lives, so it can be confusing. The point of this video, Can He Say That?, was more about opening up the discussion to try and figure out what the new norm looks like so that we can get to a better place and have more clarity about this. And it flows on to a comment that a good friend of mine, Matt, told me about the video as well, which was, he's a really nice guy, and he's like, I'm sure I've done this before and not realized, so thank you because you're helping me to be an even better guy by doing it this way. So that meant the world to me, and I really hope that it's something that is taken away from the video. Thank you so much again for taking the time to respond in comments and think about this with me. I really appreciate your input so much. Also, next week I'm going to do a video answering questions straight from you. So head over to my Twitter account. My handle is just Jodie Fox, Jodiefox. I think the link should be here somewhere. And just hit me with any questions that you have and I'll do a video and answer you. Hope you have a great week. I hope everything's awesome in your world, and don't forget, do everything before you're ready. Bye.